Hi everybody, this is Marco Osillo with Cells for Autism, coming to you live today, Tuesday, July 18th of the year 2018. It is, according to my watch, 5:34 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And the reason why I wanted to come out to you is, we're launching different programs here. Let me make sure this camera is right for you guys. I found a quiet space here in my bedroom, but I wanted to come out to you. I put out a post this morning, or about 4 hours ago, to all of our community. By the way, if you have been following Cells for Autism on Facebook, you realize that we're 4,000, almost 4,300 members strong. And I know we've been around for a while, and as any new startup or initiatives, we began very, very young, okay? And the idea back then, back in 2011, when Cells for Autism came about, was to use the proceeds of used cell phones to donate to autism causes that were, near and dear to our heart. Things like, Autism Speaks, or the National American Autism Society, et cetera, et cetera. But that's not why I'm here. Hi, thank you for watching. What I want to talk about is the post that I put in today about what did you feel as a parent when you were first told that your child, boy or girl, had autism, right? And perhaps he or she was only 2-3 years old or even younger, and you realized that they weren't developing as quickly as other kids were. And when you saw them play, they didn't play the same. In fact, I bet you noticed that they make very little eye contact, and they lined up their toys, or they only specifically like to play a certain way, and if you took them outside of that environment, they got upset, and all of those things that you're probably very familiar with nowadays. I wanted to talk about the moment where you took your child to the doctor, and either the psychiatrist or psychologist or therapist told you, in not so many words, I'm sorry, Mr. and Mrs. Whatever your name is, your child has autism. I remember, thank you for your like, I remember, I'm getting goosebumps right now. I remember that to have been about 17 years ago, maybe 17 and a half years ago. I was probably 26 at the time. And I felt like my whole world just, was taken underneath my feet, okay? I felt, and I could see my wife, and I remember I can see her face, I can see it, everything. It took the doctor literally 20 minutes of observing my daughter play around in his office with the toys and all the other stuff, and just bluntly say to me and my wife, yeah, your daughter has autism. And of course, the only reference that we had about autism was Rain Man, the movie, okay? And so you can imagine how the brain works. It's like all of that negativity, all of that fear, all of that junk came out in microseconds, and it was like a movie flashed over your eyes, and I was in shock. I'm the type of person that when you give me bad news like that, I go in shock. I need to resolve this at whatever cost. What are the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps I've got to take? And I'm going to take them now. And, and my wife was just completely broken down, and I was very unemotional. And I think that looking back, I would change my reaction to be more comforting, to be more empathetic with my wife, and to allow myself to have cried or to have, been in shock and emotionally touched, because that is a very severe moment. Now, I'm not blaming the doctor. The doctor is very well renowned, etc. I'm just blaming our culture and how we are trained to think about things like this. We as parents of children living with special needs, if we've been around for a while, we know that our children are just as great, if in our eyes, if not greater than what people give them credit for. And I know that we are surrounded by a community here where we live of love and support from all of the different programs and communities that we have either been a part of or served. And I'm always thinking, what is the next step? With technology and with me being in technology and in the business world, what exactly is it that we could do as parents to enable our kids beyond the therapies, right? Beyond the the speech therapy, beyond the occupational therapy, beyond all of the other things that they tell us to do, which obviously are necessary, right? You hear the phrase early intervention as being something of very importance, of high importance and value in the beginning, and I totally agree with that. But beyond that, what can we do as parents? And one of the challenges is that when your child reaches teenage years, 20, 21, 22, and they're still living at home with you, what is it that you could do, right, in order to get them to the next level, right? In order to get them that much closer to being independent. And as I rack my brain with the initiative of Self for Autism, I had envisioned a center with all sorts of different stimulations and educations and therapies and things like that. And I know that that's possible, but it doesn't touch a lot of people, and it doesn't touch everyone out there. It's kind of 5:30, so coffee at this time is kind of a good thing. But what I want to share with you is that, when our kids are in the face of having had special needs, right, and being in a position of needing to work and become independent, the best gift as parents that we could do is to allow them the opportunity to be productive members of society. Here in South Florida, we have a business that's won several prizes for employing only children and adults, young adults, under the spectrum of autism. And it's a car wash called Rising Tide. And actually, they've been so successful because they do a great job. They've opened a second location. And the young gentleman that owns it and I have met, and he says that initiative came because his older brother had autism, and they wanted to make sure that he was a productive member of society. What people don't realize today with technology is that we can have our kids, and I'm telling you, I'm going to prove this to you if you follow me for the next 21 days on the journey that I started in 2011. I promise you won't be disappointed. But here's the deal, guys. With technology right now, the way that it's working, we can have our kids work from home, right? So if they live with us, and my daughter, who was diagnosed 17 years ago, she's now 19, she drives, she has a boyfriend, which I never thought. Her boyfriend actually, I talked to her boyfriend and say, can you please explain to her this? And he is great. All right, so all that fear that I had when she was nonverbal and people were telling me, oh, she won't ever walk or she won't ever do this. And there's all kinds of naysayers. And don't get me wrong, they mean well, but they don't have that same level of enthusiasm and motivation that's in our hearts as parents, because we don't want our kids to be dependent or crippled in life or non-productive members of society. So we'll do anything. We'll walk from here to the end of the earth if necessary to make sure that our kids get what they need. And if you do that, I promise you that it's been my experience and the people I've been around for these last 20 years who have also special needs kids, they've also seen very, very many successful things happen. So I want you to know that you have to hang in there, and that belief and that dream that's right in that brain of yours, right in the back of the brain, where all the articles and all the research is saying, no, 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 you have to be able to discern the difference. That's the research that they're witnessing, but my child, I'm witnessing this. And that's the declaration that I want you to have. But enough of that. Technology. Let me go back to my point. I've noticed that in today's e-commerce society, which is significantly huge, and it will surpass the Consumer Retail Index by far in just short 3 years from now. Okay, so hear me loud and clear. My goal today is to that's my doggy out there in the door, because I'm away from dogs right now. We will, okay, together as a community, and I call us the Cells for Autism Tribe, we will allow our kids to not only remain comfortably making money for themselves independently, okay, being able to gain all the skill sets from the computer, because we, as an e-commerce society, not only in the United States, where we're only 300 million people, but all over the world, okay? We can become the strongest affiliate marketers that there are in the world, because our kids can work from their space under their terms with whatever occupation needs they have. For instance, my daughter needs to have a stand-up desk because she runs back and forth all the time. She needs to have a certain specific amount of music. But then once she's done with that occupational thing, she'll focus, and then she'll go to work and put her campaigns and all that stuff together, which, by the way, these kids are brilliant. They can teach us. They can run around circles around us when it comes to computers and cell phones and things like that. So I'm telling you right now, and I know it's hard to believe, but I'm telling you right now that I promise you that if you stick to your guns and you provide that loving environment and support that I know that you are right now, you're going to allow your children to grow up in an environment where they're going to be able to work under their own terms, make a living, contribute to your household, and become contributing members of society if they aren't already, okay? That's called affiliate marketing. I am fine-tuning the details, because one thing is to become an affiliate marketer if you're a typical person. The other one is if you have special needs. And so my team and I are not trying, let me rephrase that. We are bringing all of that information in ways that our kids can soak it all up and take advantage of it. If your child or your teenager is already fooling around with an iPhone, and it's already playing video games, and it's already going into, different pages of interest. So for instance, I have Jack, who loves Pokemon. He can tell you the websites where he can buy Pokemon toys at the cheapest price. Why? Because he needs to convince his parents to buy him the Pokemon. But he's already done the comparison. They know. So you grab that incentive and that motivation, and you teach them just a couple of more skills. Not only will they know where to shop it, but they'll know how to share it with others and make a living. I'm telling you, I am super, super excited, and I'm going to keep myself calm because it's in the testing phases right now, but we're going to roll this out before the year is up, and we're all going to thrive together, okay? It's taken a while for us to grow to 4,200 members. I'm going to open up a group, possibly within the next 2 weeks, so we can all start to share success stories. It's going to be a wild ride. It's going to be fun. Listen, I want to keep this somewhat short. I promise you I'll come out more often. And if you get a chance, you didn't get a chance to look at the live, play it back from the beginning. There's some information there for you that I'm sure that you'll enjoy. If you have any questions at all, I've opened up the messenger tool on our website. Email it to me or send me a quick messenger. If I don't respond within 2 hours, Shame on me. My team and I are looking for your messages. We are building the best affiliate marketers for special needs that we can in our country of the United States of America. I tell you, we're only surpassed by one country in terms of diagnosis, and that's China. That China has diagnosed officially more than 4 million children. The United States has 2.5 million children diagnosed. And more and more and more, we're seeing more children being diagnosed. So we have got to come up with the answer. But the answer isn't, oh, they work at a grocery store as bag boys or girls or cashiers. No, our children have passion of their own and they have creativity. And it's up to us parents to enable the environment and leave behind a better world for them. All right, I know that you're with me. I know you get me. Thank you so much for being a part of our community, Cells for Autism. I really, really thank you. And I look forward to sharing more success stories with you. And I look forward to sharing more of what we're doing. All right. Thank you so very much. Have a fantastic Tuesday evening. And I'm sure I will see you later. Bye now.